In a cozy little village, in a quaint, comfortable home, lived a young house cat named Oliver. His coat was a bright orange, and his eyes sparkled like two curious marbles. Oliver loved nothing more than to lounge by his favorite spot at the window, where a soft cushion regularly warmed by the afternoon sun awaited him. From this perch, Oliver watched the outside world unfold, its wonders tantalizingly close, yet just out of reach. Each morning, the birds would flit from tree to tree, their songs creating a lively music that made Oliver's whiskers twitch with delight. He watched wide-eyed as the wind rustled through the leaves of the towering oak trees, which danced gracefully in its gentle embrace. Yet the most intriguing sight for Oliver was the wide, mysterious rooftop that soared from his very own home, stretching out like an uncharted land waiting to be discovered. "One day I'll climb that roof," Oliver mused to himself, his heart swelling with a mix of excitement and trepidation. "You won't," joked Max, the gentle white dog who lived next door. Max was Oliver's best friend, and he loved telling stories of his own escapades on the roof. With his wagging tail and plodding steps, Max often lingered by the garden fence, sharing tales of the sights he'd seen from above, the soaring views, the open skies, full of wonder. "Oliver, the roof is magic," Max explained one sunny afternoon, his eyes twinkling. "The view is endless, and you'll see things you'd never imagine from up there, but it's tricky. The wind is strong, and the tiles can be slippery." Oliver's heart beat faster as Max spoke, painting pictures of the hidden world waiting just to climb away. "I'll do it," Oliver declared one day, his voice trembling slightly with newfound resolve. His heart swelled with a sense of purpose. Eager and full of determination, Oliver finally stepped out from the comfort of his home. In the quiet of the morning, he padded towards the wooden ladder resting against the side of the house. His paws, small and soft, tapped nervously on the ground. Max stood by, wagging his tail in encouragement, watching his friend take on a challenge so close to home, but so filled with unknown wonders. "Oliver, be careful," Max cautioned, but his voice also carried warmth and belief. With a deep breath, Oliver placed a tentative paw on the first rung. The wood felt solid and reassuring beneath him, yet each step upwards felt like entering a new world. His heart pounded like a little drum in his chest, but there was no turning back now. Higher and higher he climbed, each rung a step towards the sky, with Max's stories igniting his imagination further. As Oliver reached the rooftop, he paused, blinking against the bright light, feeling the wind tickle his whiskers. The sky, so vast and blue, wrapped around him like a blanket. He had imagined it would be thrilling, but the reality was even more astounding. The breeze whispered in his ears, sharing secrets of the sky. "Wow," Oliver murmured, taking in the new, expansive world before him. The village stretched out like a tiny quilt, stitched together with roads and trees far below his perch. But the wonder soon turned into trepidation as he ventured further. The roof tiles, glossy and slick beneath his paws, shifted under his weight, unnerving him. The wind gusted, stronger than anticipated, playing with him like a feather. Max's tales of the adventurous roof life suddenly felt daunting as Oliver tried to steady himself, his heart thumping. He looked back at where the ladder was, but couldn't quite see the way down. For a moment, doubt flickered in his eyes like a shadow passing over the sun. "Maybe I should just go back," he pondered, the thought of the cozy window cushion a comforting lure. But then memories of Max's stories drifted back to him. Tales of courage and joy in places high and wide. "Remember, Oliver," he told himself, "this view, this moment, is meant to be seen." So he steadied his gaze forward, paws braced against the shifting tiles. The determination that had propelled him up the ladder now urged him to continue, to find his footing on this new high ground. "I'm going to see," he decided again with a resolute heart, venturing further into the thrilling unknown. Oliver inhaled deeply, his small chest expanding with the cool air, crisp and lively. As he stood there, poised on the edge of uncertainty, the world below seemed to hush, waiting to see what he would do next. The view was indeed enchanting. A radiant sun began its descent, casting the village in a warm, golden light that made Oliver's fur seem to glow. He took a cautious step forward, then another, each movement careful but filled with more confidence than the last. The rooftop rolled out before him, vast and promising. Each tile held its own small adventure, and Oliver began to learn their rhythm and song, the gentle creak beneath his paws, the way the wind teased his fur before slipping past him. "Look at you go, Oliver!" shouted Max from below, his voice full of admiration and fire. Oliver felt a surge of encouragement, his whiskers bouncing with pride. "This isn't so bad," he called back, his voice lifted by the wind. Step by step, he found his dance upon the roof, light and daring. He realized that the challenge lay not in avoiding the fear, but in embracing it, letting it guide him carefully but surely over each slippery tile. The village seemed to spin slowly below him, as if he walked on top of the world. Then, as Oliver reached the rooftop's highest point, he stopped and marveled at the vista stretching around him. The sun, now a low-hanging ball of amber, cast long shadows across the landscape, painting it with strokes of deep orange and purple. In the distance, birds soared, returning to their nests as the day began to tuck itself into night. "Thanks for the stories, Max," Oliver whispered, his heart swelling with gratitude and joy. The beauty around him made his earlier doubts feel small and distant, like a pebble in the vast ocean of his new-found courage. Suddenly, a small gust of wind ruffled his fur, and in its playful touch, Oliver heard the giggles of the sky. The air was filled with the evening's soft murmur, the roof's height turning the usual village noises into a gentle lullaby. The wind carried scents of fresh grass and blooming flowers mixing with the tang of autumn leaves. Oliver closed his eyes briefly, savoring the symphony of smells and sounds, and he felt alive, truly alive. With each moment he spent up there, Oliver's confidence grew, blossoming under the open sky. The roof, once an intimidating barrier, now felt like an eternal friend, open and endless like the horizon. Standing there, he felt a part of something bigger, an ally of the gentle breeze, a friend to the soft whisper of night approaching. Having spent hours atop the world, Oliver finally felt the need to return home, heart content and full. The descent was slow, each step a lingering goodbye to the wonderful spectacle above. When his feet touched the familiar ground, Oliver looked up at Max, who wagged his tail in warm welcome. "Welcome back, explorer," Max greeted. "Thank you, Max," Oliver replied, his voice a melodic blend of happiness and fulfillment. "You knew all along I could do it." Max chuckled, his tail wagging even harder. "Sometimes, my friend, all it takes is a bit of courage and a single step into the unknown." With that, the two friends gazed at what remained of the sunset, now fading delicately into twilight. the world around them wrapped in a comforting serenity. Oliver knew that this day held lessons as lasting as the stars that would soon shimmer above. As the evening settled around them, Oliver and Max lingered in the gentle embrace of twilight. The day's light faded into a quilt of shimmering stars, each one twinkling with the secrets of the sky. Oliver felt the quiet satisfaction and warmth of shared adventures and newfound bravery. "Oliver," Max said softly, his voice a comforting rumble, "the world is full of such wonders, and just think, it all started with a little bit of curiosity." Oliver nodded thoughtfully, his eyes tracing the path of a lone star arcing across the velvet sky. "It's amazing what one can find when they step beyond what they know," he replied. His voice, soft and wistful, floated on the evening air. As they stood together, the chill of the night began to brush against Oliver's fur, prompting a little shiver. The warmth of the house and his favorite window cushion beckoned him. Turning to Max, Oliver gave a thankful nuzzle, their friendship wrapped in the silent understanding of life's small, shared moments. "Time to go home, I think," Oliver said, glancing back towards the comforting glow of the windows, waiting eagerly to welcome him. Max gave a bark that was somehow both energizing and soothing. "Go on, then. But remember, there's always another rooftop waiting whenever you're ready." With a fond farewell, Oliver padded back inside his home, his paws carrying him across familiar floors to his favored spot by the window. He curled atop his cushion, feeling a mix of weariness from the day's travels and a satisfying fulfillment. Though the world outside had grown darker, Oliver could still imagine the view from the rooftop, the vastness and variety it held. Each tile, each gust of wind had been a teacher, imparting a lesson of courage and discovery. As he settled down, Oliver glanced at the window, watching the gentle sweep of the trees outlined against the moonlit sky. A contented sigh escaped him, the room filling with the soft rhythm of his breathing. In that quiet, peaceful moment, Oliver realized that his fears had not vanished, but rather been transformed into stepping stones toward something greater, wisdom found in every brave step taken. And just as the night blanketed the village in its calm embrace, Oliver's heart was wrapped in a serenity that whispered how often the most magical part of exploring the unknown is where it leads us back to home, but somehow fuller and brighter than before. As he drifted into dreams, Oliver held on to the memory of the roof and the courage stirred beneath the vast sky. For in reaching for those stars, he had found not only the world beyond, but also the strength within. The gentle murmur of dreams soon enveloped him, each breath a play of contentment as the night's calm wrapped around him as warmly as the sunlit cushion where his journey had first begun. If you enjoyed this story, leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future content.